Numerous reports have highlighted the increasing levels of political discrimination and denial of human rights and civil liberties in the country of Venezuela.
The Human Rights Foundation has chosen to illustrate the persecution, violence, discrimination, harassment, and even imprisonment directed against those who disagree with the Venezuelan government.
The Human Rights Foundation invites you to learn about 9 men and women who peacefully participated in the political process and paid a high price.
They are the Caracas Nine.
Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez was elected in December of 1998.
He promised to end corruption and fight poverty. The president announced the formation of a new and better republic without exclusion, discrimination, or inequality.
The new government of Venezuela quickly made profound changes in society, setting a clear ideological path to be followed, that of the Bolivarian Revolution.
Criticism of official state policy was now considered subversive, and dissenting journalists and politicians were branded as dangerous and threatened publicly by the president.
The government passed a law banning the use of insulting language against the president. Even humor became punishable by law. Further legislation was enacted to muzzle the free expression of independent media.
The new Venezuelan Congress stripped the judiciary of its independence and autonomy. Thousands of veteran judges were fired. New judges were added on the basis of their loyalty to the revolutionary government. The Venezuelan courts are now an instrument of the executive branch, issuing hundreds of false indictments, carrying out partisan investigations, and using the legal process to harass and intimidate those who oppose the government.
The Caracas Nine are survivors of discrimination, censorship, intimidation, torture, false arrest, and imprisonment.
They are students, homemakers, judges, journalists, law enforcement officers, and even a retired general who served in the cabinet of President Chavez.
Their cases are emblematic of a larger story, the systemic violation of human rights in Venezuela. Retired Army General Francisco Usón is among the most high-profile victims of human rights abuses in Venezuela today. Usón resigned from Chavez's cabinet in 2002 in protest of the use of military force against unarmed civilians.
2 years later, Usón was arrested because of comments he'd made on television about human rights violations inside a Venezuelan army base in which 2 soldiers were killed with a flamethrower.
Despite now being a civilian, Usón was tried in a military tribunal and sentenced to 5.5 years of prison.
He is currently serving this sentence in a maximum security military jail without running water, food, or rations of any kind.
While in the custody of the Venezuelan government, Usón has been the target of 2 assassination attempts by injection. Francisco Usón was declared a prisoner of conscience and a political prisoner of Venezuela by the Human Rights Foundation in early 2006. His case has received support from numerous international figures, such as European parliamentarian Tunne Kelam, American congressmen, and Hollywood stars like Stephen Baldwin. As you watch this, Francisco Usón is in prison.
The Human Rights Foundation believes in the inalienable rights that protect the individual from arbitrary state and legal actions. We are devoted to the principle that all governments must be limited by the rule of law, must honor and uphold individual rights, and must acknowledge and protect the freedom of their citizens.
For complete information on the Caracas Nine and what you can do to stand up for Francisco Usón and others like him, visit caracas9.com.